Hi guys, good morning. 皆さんおはようございます。I'm Kamishiro Taishi, and here with me today is Tom Skeleton. Skeletom. Here.
That's me. That's the guy.
That's a guy. There you go, guys. Give him a clap. A clap? I don't know. So.
Well, don't give me the clap. Just give me a clap, please.
One clap.
One.
So we are here today to that is the wrong that's the correct screen actually. So we are here today to sort of talk about the various apps that we use in sort of for live translation. And Tom here is a developer of one of those apps for a streamer called kson that you guys might or might not know, who streams on this platform called mildom. And so I'll be...
A platform you definitely don't know. Nobody's heard of it before.
Unless if you followed kson, then you would know.
Yes, this is the only conceivable way.
And so I will be, on my end, I'll be sort of teaching him about LiveTL and MChad and what all that does. So yeah, that's the main thing of today. And so my guest is Tom. Hi Tom. Do you want to sort of introduce yourself a little bit?
Well, you've done such a good job introducing me already. Buongiorno, I'm Skeletom. I am a techie type VTuber. I mostly do, as Taishi said, code programming streams. I do this week I'm doing game jam streams where I'll be making a game in 48 hours with my partner Bon, which is exciting. And then, in addition to that, when I'm not programming on stream, just about the only other thing I do is cook, which is kind of a weird niche. I make pizza on alternating Sundays on stream, and I teach you guys how to do it. So you can stop by for Pizza Sudan on not this Sunday, but probably next one. And that's pretty much what I do. As Taishi said, we're going to be talking about a translation bot that I wrote in a frenzy back in the summer of last year. And that'll be, I think, the second half of this stream. But he gets the floor first, it's his house.
All right. Well then, I just remembered I have a visual that I forgot where I put. Anyways, it's fine. All right. Well, let's get started. Yeah, the coding streams and pizza making is fun. All right, that's nice. All right, moving on. So I guess I will go first, and we might as well just get started. Might as well just get right into it. Okay, so this is the stream that's currently going on because I need a stream to test on, and I don't want to bother other people's streams, so I might as well just spam my own stream. So I'm gonna have a lot of comments in this stream.
Oh, awesome. Drive your own engagement, that's perfect.
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
YouTube's gonna be like, wow, this guy is so popular, his chat's just popping off.
Indeed. Okay, so with MChad there's a lot of stuff that even I'm not sure on because they have like new developments or new updates now, but I'm sort of going off of like what I normally do, right? So MChad is a desktop program that I start up, but you can also sort of do it as a web app, so that also exists. So when I start it up, actually I might as well just start it up again. So I log in. Yeah, hold on. I have to put everything back up again. My bad. Hold on. Okay, so I look for my room, which is this. So then this brings us to this screen, right? And then what happens is then I copy the link to this video, so the share copy there, and then I can choose what language it is. So that's I'm translating into English is what's happening. And then for this is collab stream. So this is like when, say, if you're also streaming and say you are on YouTube, so you also have a different channel, then I can copy your URL onto here as well, and it will send the lines to your chat as well as my chat.
Okay, so this all makes sense to me. This goes in line with my understanding what the tool is. But then you also mentioned there's a tool called LiveTL And I don't know how that's different or what that could do that this isn't doing. So I guess we'll get there when we get there.
Yep. Okay, so here I can do two things. So one is sync. So first of all, I sync to this.
There's so many buttons.
Well, I mean, it does different things. So the stream link, what this does is, okay, then I suppose. So this is basically the setup. This is basically just setting it up, and add profile is just sort of like, say if like this is me, then I can add a prefix to all the lines that I'm typing as me, and this is you, I say, and this is all the lines that are you, right? So here is this, here I'm speaking like this, and then I can just press tab once, and it changes to you now. So now you are, say something.
I refuse. I refuse to say anything. I'm not gonna cooperate. You can't make me. And he's gonna. I refuse. There you go.
Like
beautiful.
That.
Okay.
Oh wait, I forgot to press the start button. I forgot to press start broadcast. So what that does is start broadcast is it sends this line, and it also starts the bot. There's a MChad has a Discord bot. So when it starts this bot, then it starts listening, and here I have it set to just listen to all the broadcasts that I do, but you can set it to listen only to the broadcast on a specific channel. So for example, in the kson cord, so it only starts when I'm translating for kson, basically.
So it seems like the bot that you've got, or this program you have, which you said you launched externally, it's a desktop application, is then able to make comments on your behalf through your account on YouTube. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, cool. So that makes sense.
Okay.
And you said you can do it across platforms or just into two different streams at the same time?
Yes. I think it also works for Twitch. I've received confirmation.
That's the big question, right?
That it works on Twitch, but I haven't checked it out yet. So that's that. Let me also explain LiveTL then. Sort of because this is sort of what I do on as an input, but like people who normally watch these streams, they don't know about MChad. They don't need to know about MChad, right? So LiveTL is another extension that gives you this thing, and this is the pop out. If you open this, it sort of like sends the stream sort of in a different. Actually, I can probably just do it. So it makes it look like this. So here is where the translations go. Here is normal chat, and here is the stream. But
so is LiveTL a user end program then?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so it's not for you to help you translate; it's for us to help receive the translations.
Exactly. So it started off as an extension to pick up the en tag.
Yes.
And then so when the line is tagged with an en, then it shows up on here. And so that's how people basically get the translation lines just by itself. So without having, when chat is scrolling by like crazy, then they look at this and this is just the translation there. That was how it started. Now, because it didn't work very well because YouTube chat deletes lines.
Helpful,
especially for large streams with lots of viewers, right? And so I mean, obviously that doesn't work for translation, because then you lose context, you lose every other line. It doesn't.
I
really
remember
make sense.
back in the summer or spring, maybe it was, when the last Hololive like big festival was happening. You streamed yourself doing the translations just so that they wouldn't get lost to the sands of time.
Yeah.
Because I think this plugin must not have existed at that point.
I did not know about it back then. I did not know about MChad back then. Did
it even exist back then, or the things in this space are developing so fast?
It is developing so fast. It did exist. I just didn't know about it apparently. Yeah, it was the Usaken relay, the one where they made went into Minecraft and made portals for connecting to the EN girls.
Yes.
Okay, so that was how LiveTL used to work. Now there's a direct MChad to LiveTL integration. So what happens is, when I send the line on MChad, it directly goes to YouTube chat, it directly goes to LiveTL of the stream, and it directly goes to Discord at the same time, all three. And it also can be a browser source to go directly onto the streamer's stream, but that's rarely used. But so now, because it directly can go to LiveTL, it doesn't have to go sort of like here, YouTube chat, and then LiveTL, so it doesn't lose lines anymore. That's the key function of it. And so that's why I always use MChad now.
That makes sense. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so this more or less lines up with what I was thinking. Who is responsible for MChad? Who's the steward of MChad? Because I'm thinking about like the topic that brought this up for the people who are at home watching is kson recently mentioned that she wanted to branch out into twitch.tv, which is a brand new platform that could definitely use translations. Maybe she'll focus primarily on English, in which case maybe you'll want to translate to Japanese. Maybe not Taishi, but somebody who wants to do that kind of thing. And so the question was, can MChad or whatever translation tools currently exist handle doing that, or do we need to make new stuff for the new platform? Because right now it seems like the Japanese VTubing scene is very YouTube centric, right? So the tools are built for YouTube.
That is true. Exactly.
Yeah.
What the fuck? So it's not a PNG.
Yeah, dude.
You move, Skeletom.
Tell me you've never watched one of my streams without telling me you've never watched one of my streams. It's fine. I wouldn't expect you to. I'm on Twitch. I'm not on YouTube, so it's a completely different ecosystem. And I'm not nearly as charismatic as my angel friend here. So
no. You have the pizza, right? That's what
I do.
brings everyone.
It's true. You're missing out on great VTuber hand cams if you're not watching my streams. But that's fine. That's what the archives are for.
So so this is mainly how it works. Do you have any questions?
I think I derailed myself while I was asking my last question. Who is the current maintainer of MChad? Like, if I wanted to help branch this out onto a new platform, who would I reach out to? Is it open source? Is this a thing other people can help develop for? If you know.
I don't know if it's open source, but like here is the website for it, right? Hold on, let me grab it. MChad. I have it on speed dial. So this is the website. You can join the Discord here. So that's what it is. And here, this is the Discord server. It's a guy called Mon. It's a one-man show, so he's doing it all by himself. But
that's rough.
Getting a bit busy nowadays. Also,
is he the MChad? Is that who it's named after? I've always wondered about the name too, because it doesn't really resonate. Doesn't make any sense to me.
Doesn't really make any sense to me either. I think the M used to stand for something else. And when I asked him about it, and his Oshi is Mio, right? So I asked him, does M stand for Mio? And he was like, it did not, but okay, it now does. So I don't remember what he said it originally stood for.
Following the grand tradition of fans naming their tools after their Oshi.
Like Lunabot, right?
Lunabot, Koro Tagger, the one I'm about to talk about, is named after kson.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how it goes, isn't it?
That makes sense. Okay. Yeah, so this clears up a lot of questions I had. Basically, like, what is your workflow with using this, which I can now see. It's a standalone thing. It's not doesn't involve you typing directly into any of the chats for the channels, because as we established, you use comments that way, thanks to the wonderful benevolent algorithm that wants to get your worthless comments out of there. Who needs that shit? So that makes sense. Okay, so if this needed to extend to Twitch, if it doesn't already, your workflow wouldn't change at all, it looks like. We would just need to find some way that it could post into Twitch chat on your behalf, I think. Right? That's like the key point here, is that it's still posting into the chat, but it's doing it on your behalf through your account. Like, you've signed in through the app.
That is true, yes. I mean, I don't know, does Twitch delete comments? Is that a thing?
Not to my knowledge, but who can say? Like, I don't know, maybe if it's deleting them, I'm just not ever knowing that they were posted.
Maybe.
My streams don't get a ton of comments, so I don't get like volume deletion like the big streamers do.
Fair enough.
The big ones, maybe they're being deleted without viewers even knowing. I honestly don't know. I've never really looked into it. I wouldn't be surprised, especially if you want to type at a high speed. Slow mode is definitely a thing on Twitch channels, or can be a thing on Twitch channels.
Right.
I know that's kind of a big obstacle. So
right, there's slow mode also. So the thing is, basically, in order to translate on Twitch, I want both things, which sounds like asking for a lot, but basically this is the perfect image, right? Like a thing to catch all the lines, and then a thing to input the lines, basically. So that's what.
Okay. In the chat, low grade translator saying Twitch doesn't have the chat eats like YouTube does, so that's good. And he also says LiveTL is going to support Twitch soon, with big air quotes.
Yeah,
Twitch is just a wrapper on IRC. Okay, sorry, I'm reading the chat and talking over you.
Yeah. Their soon is soon in quotes. So it's according to what I've heard from developers, it's gonna be months at least. And I suppose that's a more normal sort of lead time for code project things, right? It takes a lot of people. It takes a long time.
So ISV brings up a more technical point, which is that Twitch is just a wrapper for IRC, which is the chat room protocol that people used before Discord came around. And they maintain chats for a while, but you don't know the time limit. Eventually, they delete chat logs for VODs. That shouldn't be a problem, based on my understanding of... Actually, this is maybe a question you don't have the answer to. If the video that you commented for gets deleted, does MChad have like a backup copy? Like, do they write to a external database somewhere, all of your lines?
Yes.
Or is it just like stream of consciousness, in and out, purely functional?
Here, archive.
Okay, that's exactly what I'm wondering about. Yes.
So yeah. So MChad does store it. And so even if the video is gone, the transcript is totally here, and you can totally just download it.
That's very cool. So then the VOD's going down on Twitch, because that's another weird cultural difference between YouTube and Twitch, is that on Twitch it's not made for permanent video uploads at all, whereas YouTube is made for permanent video uploads. So on Twitch, if you are a non-affiliate, your VODs are gone after a week. I think if you're an affiliate, you get a month, and if you're a partner, I have no idea how long it lasts. It might be indefinite, I don't know. So that's like a big cultural difference. As Aishu points out, your chat lines in the actual chat will be gone before you know it.
I see. So wait, no, but hold on. MChad does work for Twitch, is what I've told. So there's no need to worry about the storage is all there. The archiving is there. So is this a thing? Is this a matter of like having a thing that can sort of read from the MChad archives?
I mean, you shouldn't need to. If it's piping into Discord in real time, there's no real reason I would think you'd need to ever look back that far. I don't have all the use cases in my brain though, but I can't imagine why you'd need to go back.
No, for people who are watching the VOD.
Oh, yeah. Well, if the chat logs for the VOD are gone and I'm not sure.
Well, okay. First of all, I'm not sure how Kson's gonna do it.
Nobody knows.
We're gonna assume that she is going to stream on Twitch, and then she is going to put the VODs on YouTube. So there are two VOD situations. First of all, the VOD situation for Twitch, assume that how does Twitch work? How does Twitch work for watching VODs?
No one knows.
Teach me.
Sorry, what's the exact question?
How do you watch VODs on Twitch?
You go to somebody's channel. You can click on. There's a tab for videos, which will have their remaining videos that haven't been purged yet, and then you can just choose one.
Hold on.
But they don't last for very long, as everybody keeps saying. You can visit my channel if you want, as an example.
Okay, so we go to videos.
Yeah.
Sorry. The length indicates that these are VODs, right?
Yes.
So I'm watching it after the.
So I'm not live right now, but if you go to the videos tab, you'll have all of my recent videos, and you can just click one. And as you can see, this is a very short list because it purges them after a week, because I've not enabled affiliate yet, because I do not yet want to take money from my streams.
Okay. So
you can only go back so far.
So we're gonna.
But then you can open it and just watch it like normal.
I'm gonna assume that for the first week, say it's a week, kson streams, and after the next week afterwards, there are gonna be people who are going to watch the VODs. They will want to see the translation well, we would want a thing like this, like LiveTL, to catch the translations so that they can watch it together, sort of like this. Then after the week, she puts it onto YouTube. Then it's gonna be just a video on YouTube, and on YouTube, it is also possible to read. Can you activate LiveTL on YouTube for a video?
So you're saying that there's a way that you could say, I'm watching this video now, LiveTL, fetch me the translation summary, and it will play them side by side for you? Like, it'll go through the LiveTL log in real time?
Well, for stream VODs, yes.
Ooh, that's spicy.
But for actual videos, no. So for actual videos, people will probably have to... So MChad also has a listener client, which I haven't used all that much. Because for normal videos, I believe you can't actually trigger LiveTL, I think. Hold on, let me just open a random video. Let's say this. This is not... Yeah, okay, no, this has chat. If there's chat, then you can activate LiveTL. So this is not. Let me see, random video, Blender. I don't know what this is. Yeah, okay, so there's no chat, so there's no way to activate LiveTL. I'm pretty sure there's a way to activate MChad listener, but I'm not sure.
I'm not gonna put you on the spot. That's fine.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't looked into it enough myself. But so I'm not sure about that. But if it's a stream, then yes. Afterwards, here, let me see. Ooh, game. What are you making, by the way?
So the theme for the game jam is the word mask, and the game we have in mind has very little to do with actual masks, but we got there through a process of talking about masks. We're just doing a fan game for one of our friends who's also a streamer. It's a kind of a knockoff of one of the old Game & Watch LCD type like hardware games. If you've ever seen one of those, like Mr. Game & Watch from Smash Brothers, for example.
So it's like Smash Brothers.
No, sorry. That was a inapt comparison. Are you familiar with the character Mr. Game & Watch from Smash Brothers? Because he's from a bunch of Game & Watch games, which are like these weird calculator-looking pieces of plastic that have screens with like a built-in game in them. Or making a copy of one of those types of games. That's maybe the worst way I can describe it. I don't know.
I'm afraid not. Sorry.
It's all good. Hold
on. So so this is a VOD that Chiho, one of the kson friends, so she streamed this on Twitch, then she uploaded this on YouTube, and obviously there's no chat, so there's no way to activate LiveTL.
Interesting. Okay. So the feature ask here is that we'd want to be able to tell LiveTL this YouTube video corresponds to this Twitch VOD, and I know you have MChad archives for this Twitch VOD, so can we play these back side by side?
Right.
Is what it's okay. That's an interesting use case, but that I think is probably on the level for a lot of how Twitch is used, because as far as I know, most people who do stream on Twitch who maintain archives bring them to YouTube, and then there are some people who just don't care about keeping archives, which is also fine. Streaming is in the moment. It's not meant to be permanent.
Is it not? I feel like
nothing lasts forever. It's fine.
My first sort of like interaction or approach to streaming has been HoloLive. So my understanding has always been like their VODs aren't going to remain. So the fact that VOD doesn't remain on Twitch seems really strange to me.
No, it's I think that's a big cultural thing as well. It's a kind of a rift between like the English VTubing scene and like the very corporate Japanese scene, where for people who are doing it as like small indies on Twitch on the inside of things, it's more about moments in the moment rather than building up like a big library of work. Whereas for the corporate side, it's like here's the 500 streams I made in the year 2021. Look at how great I am, I can do all of this and more, and you'll be fed for years and years and years if you just watch archives, because it's a business product. But for some people,
that's true.
They don't care about all that. My entire first 4 months or more of streaming on Twitch is more or less in the garbage because of technical difficulties, and I never felt like those VODs were fit to upload onto YouTube. So I start around June or May, I think, on my YouTube channel for uploading archives. There's 2 whole games that I did Let's Plays of that are just gone to the sands of time.
Aww.
Ain't no thing. It's no big deal. But yeah, it's a cultural difference, I think.
Fair enough. Okay, I think that's about it from me for LiveTL and MChad.
Ooh, okay. I mean, I made a slide deck for the translation tool that I'm going to present about, just to warn everybody.
Yeah, alright. Should we move on to that one?
Yeah, sure, if you want.
Alright.
Let me chug my wine really quickly.
Yeah, you have wine. People, he's drinking wine.
Yeah. It's the only way to stop me from getting in my own head about doing a collab. Okay. Yeah, so you've got a scene for my slide deck. So, as Taishi mentioned at the top of the order, I built a chatbot for a streaming platform that is neither Twitch nor YouTube. It's not even as popular as Nico, in fact. It's really niche. This is a streaming platform called mildom.com, which is, I think, a subsidiary of... no, I'm forgetting. It's not important. It doesn't matter who it's from.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
I made, because I'm a terminally ill software engineer who does this forever, and my brain can only think about being an enterprise developer, I made a slide deck as though I were presenting this to upper management. And I hope it's useful. Okay, so let's talk about chatbots, an incomplete process overview. Okay. Wait, hold on. There we go. Okay. So, the folks who showed up today might already be familiar with mildom.com. Like I said, it's a kind of a Japanese twitch.tv equivalent. You've got a central channel page that you can link people to, and then your streams are always on that same URL every time you want to go visit. You just go to somebody's channel page. Whereas like with YouTube, you have to make a new frame or waiting room every single time. So in that regard, it's very similar, I think. But unlike YouTube and Twitch, it's way smaller. And unlike both of those, it has almost no overseas presence. I would never have heard about this if not for the fact that kson streams on this, and I want to go engage with her content because it's very good. It's not very accommodating to folks abroad at all. You can super chat by buying coins, but payment methods from outside the Asian region are not accepted pretty much across the board. You can buy coins while overseas if you use the app, but you cannot download the app if you're overseas.
Why?
You have to use the Japanese Play Store to do this.
Oh
so this is a problem because the app is the only way to get push notifications when new streams happen on the platform. There's, as far as I know, no desktop way to register for alerts. Maybe you can get them via email. I don't know. I also, as you might guess, can't read Japanese, and the entire site is in Japanese, hence the necessity for this bot. If I could read Japanese, I wouldn't need this robot. Anyway, so it's very unfriendly to overseas users, but as we know, kson has a very, very large overseas fan base. And coming from other corporate VTubers servers recently, I had seen people use things like Korotagger and Lunabot, and I wanted to try and fill that niche for this spot. So I made this bot named after kson's first and second avatar, Little Daiko. Let's see. So it's named after the first two avatars. It alerts the server when a stream is about to start. This is really important. This is probably its single most useful feature, even though it's the easiest one to put together. It relays messages that the streamer types in her own chat. So if she, says like "thanks for joining" or whatever at the end of the stream or anything else, it captures those and sends them straight to Discord. It relays tagged messages like what Taishi was talking about earlier. If you prefix it with an en tag from specifically approved translators. This is kind of a key difference that I don't think I'm going to touch upon later between it and Lunabot, where Luna will grab anything that uses the tag, and it's up to server managers to blacklist if they don't like it. Then for this one, I have to register people's account and say only listen to chat messages from these users. So like you and Joshua Tapioca and Kewin are the 3 approved people that I'm allowed to pick up messages from for this. I don't care about anybody else. Nobody else matters.
Nobody
I got a question
but you.
Low grade translator in the chat asks, so you download through Kyo app? No, it's not on Kyo app. They don't have it. The way you have to download it, you have to make a Japanese Google account using a VPN, log into the Play Store from your Japanese Google account, and download the APK that way. It's the only way.
Oh my god.
Very, 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 very unaccommodating for overseas fans. I hope that they expand, but I doubt that they will, because why would they? I'm assuming every other streamer on their platform has exclusively a Japanese or Asian region audience. I cannot imagine that there's a wide overseas market for maybe anybody on the platform other than Daigo, the Street Fighter player, because I think he's got some overseas appeal. But I'm pontificating. Anyway, so yeah, for example, EN Good Morning would get grabbed if Taishi were the one to type it.
Mm-hmm.
And another feature that people seem to like is it lets people timestamp messages from within the Discord. So while the other 3 features are piping information from the chat to the Discord, this is a feature that is exclusively localized within the Discord. People can do a command to make a timestamp at this exact moment and can adjust it forward and backward. And at the very end of it, it will print out a summary of all of the above events in chronological order in a little text file. So you get translation messages and timestamps in sequential order in a text file. Unfortunately, I can't link to specific timestamps in the video itself because, because mildom is like Twitch, the video VOD doesn't go up right away, whereas with YouTube, the URL for the stream is the same as the URL for the VOD.
Mm-hmm.
It takes some time for these Twitch and mildom platforms to upload their VODs to a separate URL, and so I don't know what that is at the time of ending the stream. Right. And also, they just don't support linking to timestamps, whereas Twitch and YouTube do. You can, right-click on a video and do share from current timestamp on a YouTube video.
Right.
And you can just share it. They don't have that yet, so all I can do is provide people a nice little indexed list, and they will have to simply read it side by side at the appropriate times. It's the best I can do. Okay.
I see.
So the key here is that as soon as I got whiffed that kson was going to start streaming regularly again on this platform, this was around July, I entered what's known as a strange mood in the software programming world, where I could think about nothing but finishing this task until it was done.
Nice.
So the problem with this is that I didn't ask any of the end users what I expected their workflow to be. So the workflow that I imagined for Taishi, based on what I had observed in his work elsewhere, was as follows. We'd register Taishi as a trustworthy translator for the bot, and all he would have to do is type his translations into the chat. The bot would pick that up, and if his message was properly tagged with an EN, it would relay that chat message to a specific channel in the fan server. This was how my pea-brain imagined that you were doing your live translations, because I did not know that there was an external desktop application. I assumed that you were typing every line into the YouTube chat every time you had something you needed to translate. And it sounds like I was right up until somewhat recently, so maybe I wasn't that far off base.
Yeah, you're pretty on point.
Yep. So then it carries this message so. You take a input message from the chat directly, and you bring it to Discord. Once the stream ended, you get a timestamped log of all of the relayed messages, and it'll be published to peruse later. This seemed like the least intrusive way to get you on board with doing translation for this weird new platform. I figured this is pretty much what you were going to be doing anyway, and I would just be piggybacking off of work that you might already have going on. But it sounds like I'm a little bit off base, and that it'd be preferential if you could use your external application for a couple of reasons. One, I didn't realize at the time that mildom has a 120 character limit for its messages. Makes a lot more sense in Japanese than it does in English.
Yeah.
Again, it's a platform made for speaking in Japanese, so I understand that. And it also has a built-in slow mode that is punishingly long. Very, very bad for live translation. Very good for avoiding spam in chat. So I built this whole thing in, I think, a month, because I started it in early July, and I know its first date of deployment was August 6th. I'll talk about that later in the slide deck. So I hurried through this, never consulted you even once, because I don't think we really knew each other by the time I finished building this. And in fact, I think building this bot is what catalyzed our acquaintance.
Yeah.
I don't think I spoke to you until I was like, hey, I made this really weird software for you to use. Please use it.
Yeah.
And you're like, I guess I will. I'll give it a try.
Yeah.
Anyway, now is time for a little bit of a technical aside, but I promise it's germane, it's relevant. So the question is, how does a chatbot at all work? How does the web work in general? So there are two primary ways that things on the internet can talk to each other. The first one is the one that you're almost certainly the most familiar with. It's called HTTP. It is the basic method of communication between most things on the internet. A user will send a request to a server. The request will enter the server and scoop up some really good data, and it will return back to the user in one continuous motion. Anytime the user wants more data, they have to start the process over again. They will do a request, it'll reach the server, and immediately U-turn and come right back to them. When you type youtube.com into your browser, that's an HTTP request. You ask YouTube server for its page data, and it brings it right back to you in one swift motion. That's why you'll get like timeout errors or things like that sometimes, if you can't get to the page if the website's down, because the request needs to be one unbroken motion.
Okay.
Rabbit Ears in the chat says the web doesn't work, and he's right. But for the sake of this presentation, just assume that it does. Anyway, as you might imagine, for the sake of a chatbot where you've got chat moving at whatever the speed limit enforced by mildom is, which is still decently fast when you have enough users, that would be a lot of requests you'd have to do constantly every time you wanted to see if there was a new message posted. And especially if you wanted to be timely about it, you'd be needing to hammer servers like hundreds of times a second to make sure you don't miss anything and aren't out of sync.
Wow.
So the solution to this is there's a protocol called the socket. There's another way that web programs can talk to each other. This one is a lot more like a handshake. The user will still reach out to the server, but instead of asking for any particular data, it just greets the server with a handshake. And under normal conditions, the server will reciprocate with a handshake back. After that, the server and the user exchange addresses, and they go on their merry way. But anytime either of them thinks of something important that they'd like to tell the other, they can remember the address and proactively push that information out without needing to be asked first. So that means that they can talk back and forth without ever needing to do a request. They can just proactively tell the other end as long as the other end still exists in the same place. And this is how a lot of chat protocols work. So for example, when you visit YouTube's channel page, it's an HTTP request, but their chat is a socket connection because the server has a whole bunch of users and can make a whole Rolodex of user addresses. So anytime an individual user posts a chat message, the server thinks, you know, all my friends really ought to know about this, and pushes back the message data to all connected users without them needing to know about it first. So that is how chat rooms work and how you're able to get messages in real time to each other in a data efficient format without needing a ton of network bandwidth or being limited by network speed. It's all event driven. You only get messages when there's something important to share, and you're not constantly flooding the network with like dead requests. That would be what's known as a direct denial of service attack, or DDoS. So this is how chatbots work, and I bring it up because I'm leading with this because the socket architecture is the cornerstone of how my chatbot works. To oversimplify, the bot basically connects to the server with a socket address. It tells the server that we're totally a normal user, nothing fishy here. We wait for the server to push messages to us, and we just need to interpret the data and act on the relevant pieces. Couldn't be simpler, right? So
I mean, the last part.
In this case,
the last part suddenly the language, just the difficulty went up. Can you explain the last one?
Okay. So the messages you get back from a web server are not usually just the string of text. Like, for example, Low Grade Translator in the chat says, "Bro, Tom makes more sense than my old lecturers." Thank you. But the message it sends back to you is not just this line of text. It'll send it to you in a structured object that will have information like, when was this message made? What was the avatar of the person who made it? What is their username? Are they a member? Things like that. And so you need to know how to dissect that piece of data and get the pieces that you care about. For example, with the mildom bot, I need to know, is this Taishi sending this to me? Or is this somebody whose name is suspiciously similar to Taishi? Is it actually his user ID, or is it just like the same ID? Or the same display name, things like that. So that's the important part. So you connect to a socket, and in this case, you just sit there and wait, and wait, and wait forever. In this case, Little Daiko has had about an hour and 10 minutes of downtime since she first debuted in August. She works almost as hard as the real boss, honestly. But it's basically been one continuous socket connection to the mildom chat server for, this would be 6 months coming up on, with only about an hour of outage. You just sit there and wait forever.
Right.
So this is, for most platforms, doing all the stuff that I just outlined is a piece of cake, right? You sign up for the developer program, you read some documentation about how to connect to the server, what you got to send the server, what it'll send to you, you're all set. It's perfect. And for those at home, this is called an API, an application programming interface. That's what you read about. YouTube and Twitch, they all have stuff like this. But I was not so lucky with mildom because they're smaller. They have no developer program. There are no documents to read. And all the stuff I could find about how their website works was in a language I absolutely have no grasp on. If I could read Japanese, I wouldn't need to make the bot in the first place. It's kind of a catch-22 or not a self-fulfilling prophecy, but I need to make the bot in order to understand Japanese streaming, but I need to understand Japanese streaming in order to make the bot.
Wait, hold on.
Go ahead.
Did they program in Japanese?
There are some unusual conventions that I'm not going to get into in this slide deck that I would not expect from the Western world, but it is it's mostly fine. But it's a matter of like with a normal developer program documentation site, like for Twitch and YouTube, they'll be like, you can connect to the chat server at http:// here's our web server youtube.chat.com.
Right. The URL.
I had to go hunting to figure out where the chat server for mildom was because there's no page to read. Or it's not that I could find. Maybe there is, and I didn't know how to search for it because I'd have to search in like katakana or whatever, and I don't have the capability of doing that, unfortunately.
Right.
So maybe there's stuff out there and I couldn't find it, but fortunately, good engineers never held down for too long. You can't keep me down. Every browser comes handy with this handy traffic inspector, which you can access by pressing F12. It's kind of like the New Game Plus for your web browser. It gives you a whole bunch of new tools that you may never want to use, but for people like me who have the brainworms, we know how to use them. You can see all incoming and outgoing data with the inspector here. With this, I could camp out on the stream page and observe where the browser was connected to for chat, what data was being pushed back and forth, and this is how I got message capture working, basically. I would camp out on a random mildom.com stream. I'd be able to open the inspector here, and I could see what is my browser trying to connect to, and like what is it sending back and forth. And so this is how I was able to figure out what the actual chat server that I need to connect to was, which is like the weirdest way to do it.
Big brain.
Yeah, and so fortunately for me, messages like chat message aren't the only type of data that the mildom chat server pushes to users. There's a whole slew of different things that they want to tell you about, but the trick is knowing how to listen. It'll also alert you to any users who are currently connected to chat when the stream starts, when it ends, and for some weird reason it also lets every other user know when a new user enters chat. This is very annoying, by the way, and you can turn off the notifications for this in their front end. And it's like one of the first things we teach people when we send them over to the streaming platform to go watch the stream. Is here's how you turn off all the sticker pop-ups. Here's how you turn off the function where it makes a new chat message every time a user joins. But it's information that it sends down the WebSocket because for some reason the server thinks, hey, all my friends should know about this, and I'll tell all of them. And with a socket, you listen to everything. You just have to take it like a fire hose, and it's your job to pick through it on your own software end. So again, there was no official documentation on how these alert messages were structured. And so for me, the only way to learn about all the different message types that could possibly exist out there are to observe them in the wild. Kind of like I was some weird fucked up naturalist. Like a bird watcher with no field guide, kind of. I would just have to camp out on a stream from start to finish.
But watching code instead of birds.
Yes, exactly. I would have once I learned how to connect to the chat server like this, I would have it try and connect, and it would flag every time. You can see in this image here, there's like a command, cmd is the third like line here that I've got underlined. That indicates if it's like a chat message or if it's some other kind of thing, like go live, end stream, new user, etc., etc. So I would just have the program that would notify me every time a new command type that I'd never seen before popped up, and I would make a dictionary of those. So eventually I learned all these different things you could listen for, which it gave the bot its most useful feature, which is letting the Discord server know when streams pop up. Because that's more useful than anything. Through no fault of your own, you don't do the translation bit too often unless it's really important. So that part doesn't get used too often. Timestamps get used somewhat frequently, but the go live is the most important thing. Right. So anyway, yeah. As I said, the most important thing is the stream alert. So I had to basically wait for a stream to go live in order to find out what this looked like. So I'd have to camp out, naturalist, etc., etc. This, I think, is really important, as I said, because users have no other way of knowing if they're overseas, because they can't get the app. And it is what it is. As an aside, I also, in the process, learned how to stream to mildom.com myself, so that I could emulate these things on my own without having to camp out anymore. So whenever I need to test the bot, I'm able to test it against my own stream whenever I add new features. So I'm getting there. Maybe one day I'll do a great mildom debut for my tremendous Japanese audience. Anyway, so you might be thinking, Tom, isn't that a lot of work? You must love your Oshi a whole lot, right? And then I say, you're goddamn right I do, but I think this is probably the normal amount that one should feel. I have no capacity to make beautiful illustrations, so this to me is the closest facsimile to fan art that I can produce, is making a tool that people find useful and can enjoy the content more with. That's pretty much what it boils down to, is I had to camp out and listen for a long time, record my findings, and figure out how to interact with this weird platform. Any day now, they could up their security and they could kick me out, and I'd have no idea how to come back into it. But hopefully that day doesn't come. It seems like a beneficial relationship for both ends.
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah, and so then, as I mentioned, some fun statistics. This bot has been active since August 6th, 2021. This is, I think, just about a month after she started streaming on the platform again more actively. I was very excited to get this going. I know this because there was a whole big fuss in the server when you started doing the translation for the first stream that had this bot working for it. I've got some stats about that as well. So it's alerted to 67 streams since then, because she doesn't use it as her primary platform, so not that many. The role that it alerts to is 264 people out of the 1,700 or so that are in the server. So it's still a subset within a subset, but overall that means that there have been almost 18,000 individual pings for people. That's potentially 18,000 views, I guess, that I'm driving to the platform, I hope. So that's good, that's good. These are people that probably wouldn't otherwise know that there is a stream going live. We've managed to catch exactly one true gorilla stream that was never tweeted about. I think one day she was feeling ill, and she just booted up Ark at 2 in the morning JST, and never tweeted about it, and just entered the strange mood of, I have to play Ark until I'm no longer on this earth. And so never tweeted about it, but the bot caught it, so we all got to watch and hang out with her and make her feel better.
Nice.
It's transmitted exactly as of yesterday 1,000 messages from you, from kson, timestamps, and stream summaries.
Nice.
This is not a number that was rounded to any particular multiple of 10. It happens to be actually 1,000. I think that's the last one. And so, yeah, this is basically me showing you my children, photos of my children. I open up the wallet and I have the whole big rollout. We got the first relayed message. This is the truly gorilla stream where she just showed up in mildom one day, and we got a ping of it. I mentioned that for some reason the bot will, or the chat protocol, the server, will let everybody know whenever any new user joins the chat, which is really bizarre and adds a lot of noise. But I have it tailored so that anytime the streamer enters the chat, it will post to Discord, because this is often the 1 hour warning we need that a gorilla stream is about to start. She'll often pop in anywhere between an hour or 15 minutes before the stream. We get a notification of it, which means that we can have a moderator on duty to moderate the stream chat in the Discord.
I see.
And in this case, it just popped up out of the blue. She hadn't mentioned streaming that day. She said she was going to sleep, and instead it's user has entered the chat room at this is probably about 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. JST, I think. And then there was I think the highlight of this bot was when you had to make an alt to overcome slow mode, because she had to come back from vacation and really wanted to tell us about something, but chose mildom to do it on for some reason.
Yeah, so I made a second account.
You made a second account. I added you as an authorized translator for the bot, and I do not know how you managed to do this, but for about an hour and a half, I think, or maybe an hour, you alternated back and forth so you could get past the slow mode, get past the character limit, and actually convey a great summary of her vacation to us. So this is probably my favorite moment that the bot has facilitated. And that's pretty much it. If anybody wants to see how this works in more fine detail, or thinks I'm an idiot and thinks they can do a better job, the whole thing is open source on my GitHub. It is little-daiko. You can find it there. You can download the whole thing, deploy it on your own if you want, make pull requests, see how I've done it, and make your own bot. learn the dark secrets of the mildom.com streaming platform API, all that and more. And that's my whole slide deck. So I will now yield my time to questions.
I see. Well, I mean, so like you both love your Oshi so goddamn much. You goddamn right we do.
Goddamn right. So my big question to you is always, can I make this more usable for you? Would that even be a thing you'd want, or is it like a non-starter?
Well, I mean,
because I know you don't have infinite time to just translate whenever. Sorry.
Right. Like, so, of course, like the biggest leap would be to integrate Little Daiko with MChad. But would that be possible? I mean, it's not very necessary because honestly, I don't translate that much on her mildom streams. But theoretically, would it be possible?
I mean, yeah, I think so. The only thing I don't know if I can do, because as we've established, the MChad is posting to YouTube on behalf of your account, so you've signed in. You've given it permission to use your account in some way, right? This is a very common thing that mature developer programs will have. Twitch will let you do this. Google will let you do this. Facebook, Twitter, YouTube all let you sign in through another app and give that app permission to use your account. I don't think there's a way to do that with mildom because they don't have a very sophisticated developer program. So I don't think they have any kind of API integration like that, for the same reason that I couldn't just look up how to connect to their server, look up what messages look like. So I don't think I could get it so you can post from your desktop app into that chat. I'm not sure how important that is. It may just be fine that you type into the app and it goes straight to the Discord. You might also be able to lie to mildom and say that you're an account that doesn't exist or a guest. I think you can actually post in chat without having an account on mildom, but I'm not sure.
Oh my god. Okay, so mildom. So one thing that kson did is she removes the slow mode. So that's thank God. But she has no way to remove the word count. So
no, that's a platform issue. Yeah.
So back to sort of LiveTL and MChad is like when YouTube streams are in slow mode, we can basically get through it. We can sort of ignore it because MChad can send directly to LiveTL, right? So it doesn't necessarily have to send to YouTube chat. So YouTube chat is basically a lost cause. I've given up on YouTube chat. And so even though my lines are not showing up on YouTube chat because of slow mode, it shows up perfectly fine on LiveTL. Every single line that I do. Right.
That makes sense.
So
because as we established, MChad is writing to its own database elsewhere. That's the true source of truth.
Exactly.
And instead of reading from YouTube chat is the recipient of the text, not the source.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
So I guess without a LiveTL sort of equivalent for mildom, I mean there's no point having the MChad integration, I suppose.
It's so ridiculously niche that like I almost feel bad dedicating time to it, but I don't know. Again, this like I do plan to make this bot available for deployment in other Discords, much like how Lunabot and all these other translation bots are able to be invited to other fan servers. But I really don't think that there's even a single other place where you'd want this. I don't think that there's any other like large overseas fan base for somebody who uses that platform primarily. It's such a weird anomaly, but I might be wrong.
Well,
I'm
I
wrong
mean,
about a lot of stuff.
So that leads us to the $1 million question: how does all of this apply to Twitch, or can it? That's
a good question. My primary question was how MChad integrates with YouTube chat. Now that I understand that, where MChad is the source of truth and it is pushing to YouTube chat, that makes a lot of sense. I think you can do something similar with Twitch, and it might be already in the plans for MChad, and I wouldn't need to worry about trying to make a proprietary bot. Because again, going back to the impetus for this collab was I was asking Taishi like right away, as soon as the boss announced that she wanted to move to Twitch, do I need to make a bot that can handle this, or is there somebody else more qualified and apt that already has this problem on lock? I don't want to make like an omnibot that does all these different things. I'd rather just have this one very specialized one. And if there's somebody else who's making the same thing, or making a thing that I feel needs to be done, they can go ahead and do it. I don't need to do it myself. And the answer was rather we didn't know. No, neither of us knew if there was a Twitch thing in the works for this because it's kind of an uncharted territory, much like mildom here. So I think the same workflow that you used for YouTube chat with MChad could pretty much directly carry over to Twitch. The only point of contention then comes to be with VODs and VOD chat when they migrate the video from being a Twitch archive and eventually that gets culled and it gets uploaded to YouTube. It would need to fall upon LiveTL to have some way that you could say, this is the Twitch stream URL and this is the YouTube stream URL or the YouTube VOD URL. Please play me the recorded the chat archive for this Twitch chat side by side as you play this YouTube video. And if you can get that going, you in the grand sense, if anyone can get that working, I think everybody would be all set for Twitch integration.
Well, I mean,
LiveTL is working on Twitch integration, not sure about MChad. Yeah, that seems to be the consensus.
Yeah, like so I imagine it would probably have to be manual. Like the process of like when boss uploads the Twitch VOD to YouTube, like it would probably be a manual process, sort of like copying the URL from the YouTube video, to the and assigning it to the MChad transcript. So
but then if she does like any kind of edits where she like trims out like I don't know like a loading screen, because once you're editing the video at all because you have it on hand or whatever, you can make small edits to it that mess up the timing. She could upload like a highlight reel if she gets an editor, and then you're just sunk. And then it falls to like flippers, and there's no other way.
Right. I mean, I don't know if she would. Oh, I mean, if she makes edits, then honestly, we just. I don't.
You're done.
Throw up our hands.
The goose is cooked.
We're done.
And I mean, this is all very, I guess, preemptive because there's, I'd say, a high chance that the streams that she does on Twitch are already EN focused. So I'm not sure if there's a large scene for doing Japanese translations of the EN streamers.
Fair enough.
But that would be the way I would have to go, I would think. And so it may not be a niche that is looking to be filled. I don't know.
Right.
But I would assume, because of how predominantly EN the Twitch culture is, that might be the plan. I kind of hope that doesn't happen because I feel like that would lead to a fan base divide where the EN folks are just watching the Twitch stuff and then the Japanese folks are watching the YouTube and other platform things, and we stop being such like a giant international family. We kind of have our little subsections, but
that's true.
He knows best for sure. Whatever she wants to do, I'm sure it will work out in the end because she is a genius. So
right. I mean, yeah, a lot of it would sort of hinge on how she uses Twitch. Basically, that's a key question, right? Yeah.
The only platform that I made a vow to the rest of the moderation team in the fan server that if she ever goes back to Nico, I would figure out how to update this bot to be able to do Nico live translations. But I'm praying that day never comes because Lord, I don't want to interact with Nico anymore.
It's like that bad. Nico.
It's strange. It's a weird pay to watch kind of model these days, where you need like a subscription to watch VODs. She did like
oh my god.
She did a series of interviews way back early when she started streaming again, and like you could pay to watch them an unlimited number of times, but after like 24 hours after you paid for it, you'd not be able to do it anymore. What? There's some really weird. I shouldn't talk because I didn't participate in this, so I'm paraphrasing based on what I remember from like 6 months ago. But they have some strange weird viewership model. I don't know. They're still very relevant. They're doing well, I think. So if she ever decides she wants to start branching back out into her roots of Nico again, I promise, make a bot that can handle relaying chat from there to here. It won't be easy, but I'll do it. And other than that, I'll leave Twitch and YouTube to the people who can do this more professionally, have a more robust solution, as it were.
Yeah, I don't think she's gonna go back to Nico. I mean, she has too many platforms already, honestly, right?
That's what we thought when she launched Twitch. We were like, oh, okay, a third one. And there was concern, is she going to deprecate the mildom platform because they kind of feel like they filled the same role. Doesn't seem like that's going to be the case. But she hasn't really said too much about it one way or the other, I don't think.
Well, I mean, it sounds to me sort of like Twitch is sort of like a replacement for mildom, but just more accessible overseas, I suppose. But we'll see. We'll see.
It's a big mystery.
Yeah, I mean, okay. I mean, so then the we're going back to, so what work would be needed to do for Twitch?
So you basically just need to have MChad. So from the MChad side, you need to update the program so that it could log in through your account, which should be very, very straightforward.
It can already. So MChad can.
It can log in.
Yes, MChad
for Twitch
can send to Twitch chat. Yes.
Oh, then I think you're set. Then it all falls to LiveTL, right?
Right. Yeah.
And then I think you're set.
So we need like a LiveTL sort of replacement.
I think you could probably just expand on LiveTL. Replacement's such a harsh term. It serves you so well. You can't just turn your back on it now. But yeah, it sounds like the thing I keep hearing is we need a way to be able to replay an archived MChad like chat summary in real time alongside a YouTube video, and that works on the basis that it is a raw upload direct from, like, so when I upload my archives, it's because I'm recording the entire time that I'm streaming, right?
Right.
I don't have to go get it from Twitch or anything like that. I just have the video file being created as I stream. As soon as I'm done streaming, I can then upload it to YouTube directly. I try not to make any edits to it, unless there's something really egregious that happened, or like a lot of dead air or something weird happened. In that case, the timing for the YouTube stream, or the YouTube VOD and the Twitch stream would be identical, and then you'd be all set. But if they make any edits to them in post, if they cut out the load screen, they had some weird thing that they shared on stream that they weren't supposed to, and they cut it out in the middle, and your timing gets desynced, I don't think there's a solution that you could really have for that, other than like some weird dial in the plugin itself, where you could say, oh, we just skipped 2 seconds ahead, let me adjust the dial, and now the rest of the chat will catch up, or something like that.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Not really. Like, so the MChad has an option, I
think people in the chat are also addressing this.
Yeah, so MChad has a time shift function, but that shifts all the lines. You can't. It's not possible to say like like sort of halfway through, she deleted 10 seconds. So after that point, all the lines we want to shift it for 10 seconds. Like, it's not possible that way, basically.
Yeah. I mean, again, this is like a hypothetical. I think, honestly, preparing for the worst would be preparing for a situation like that, where you get uploaded, edited VODs, and then that probably won't come to pass, if I had to guess. Either we're going to get highlight videos that are done by an editor, which are like clips, or we're going to get the raw VOD, or we're going to get nothing. I think those are the three most possible outcomes.
Well, I mean, if it's like a clip, then I mean, so this whole thing of live translation is not going to matter, because if she wants, she would put the subtitles in the clip itself. So
exactly.
Yeah.
So it sounds like technologically the progress is there. The best course of action would be to patiently wait and see what the plans are for the platform. Don't make the same mistake I did, where you built an entire workflow and bot without ever consulting the end user, because that's a way to drive yourself crazy. Making a whole new bot in a month, learning the strange language of a whole new environment. Question. Right. Okay, we have a question. Okay. Oh, I know what this question is. Go ahead, East Coast Overlord. I'm pretty sure I know what you're gonna ask me. Does Skeletom wear underwear or not? Of course. Of course. I'm not competing in the bathroom RTA, so I don't care if I slow myself down with a suboptimal routing for this kind of thing. It's fine. Of course I do. People, the thing that gets me the most is skeletons in popular media are so... What color? I'm gonna go with navy. This is the one that has the pizza print on it. Bond, thank you for asking. Okay, so skeletons in popular media are so frequently portrayed as naked. I don't understand. No other group of monster, and I mean monster is already like a loaded term to describe skeletons. No other group of character like this is so often portrayed as completely naked. Of course I wear clothes. People are always shocked by this. I don't understand. I don't get it.
Is Tom a skeleton or a lich?
According to my my bio on a bunch of platforms, the thing that's keeping me bound to this world is outstanding bugs to squash in code.
Oh my god, you're never gonna disappear then.
No, never. So I think in that sense, I'm a lich. My phylactery is like bad source code, I think. That's a fun word, by the way. I don't know how you translate that if you were trying to translate this into another language. Phylactery.
Phylactery sounds like a pretty technical term, so it probably has...
It is the thing that a lich imbues their soul to, and they cannot be killed until that object is destroyed. I think in popular media, it's called like a Horcrux sometimes, if you've heard of that.
Yes.
That's from, I think, Harry Potter.
Right,
it's the
Harry
same concept. So, like, typically in high fantasy, a lich will bind their soul to, like, a ruby or some kind of precious gem that nobody'd want to destroy. But you can get creative with it. In my case, I've bound my soul to the awful pieces of silicon in my computer. And as long as faulty code runs across them, I'll have a purpose in this world, my reason for being.
They have it. They have the word.
Yeah.
It comes from Judaism, apparently.
Yes.
Yeah, so they do have the word.
Oh, you looked it up. Nice. Oh, nice. How does one say that? I wouldn't even know how to read that.
I have no idea either.
Awesome.
Tefillin. No. Tefillin? Is that the Hebrew name for it?
I think I don't know.
We're going down a rabbit hole.
Productive area of discussion. Cool.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's about.
That pretty much does it. Yeah.
Pretty much does it for today. Sipping on wine. Yeah. Well, what is the? So action point now is basically just to wait and see what boss does.
Yeah, unfortunately, the action point is pretty much wait. But it sounds like the progress on the tool is already more mature than I thought when I asked you about this. If you're saying you can already log in and there is some Twitch support from MChad, it sounds like I need to track down whoever's in charge of LiveTL and rough them up a little bit, give them the old spook.
Yes, join me in bugging them. There's one guy in chat, Ruben, Ruben.
Ruben? Okay.
He's one of the developers, but the main developer is a guy named Kento. But otherwise, I mean, I'll send you sort of the invite links for both of them if you aren't already in them after the stream.
Sure.
So yeah.
I mean, please let me be clear, because I don't actually know you guys all that well. I shouldn't joke about it. I'm not going to bother you guys. You do great work. And as I was saying to Taishi in the pre-stream, you guys are like load-bearing fans in the sense that the entire EN scene for a lot of like the corporate JP VTubers, like the whole fan base is on your back. And I really appreciate you guys for what you do in supporting that out of your own free time, presumably. Finding the time to do translations like Taishi does, building the tools to facilitate Taishi, and other people like him. I think that's really cool, and I don't think VTubing would have popped off in the West nearly as much as it did if it weren't for like a select couple people. Like, you could probably count on two hands the number of people that have led to like tens of thousands of fans being able to appreciate content. I think that's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I feel like I'm just like one of the translators, but like the developers is sort of where I really give a lot of the.
As I also said, everybody's really humble about this kind of stuff. Every fan who contributes a lot, it's like, oh no, it's just a fan project. It's small. Don't worry about me. It's fine. You know, I'm just a humble translator. Not like anybody needs to hear what I have to say. Meanwhile, you're like you're more or less the gospel for the English language for a bunch of streamers like kson, for example, whenever she's not speaking English herself.
I'm not very
It's the Bible according to Taishi.
aware of it, but it's fine. It's fine.
I mean, nobody wants to call themselves great, but I mean, you have to pat yourself on the back when the time comes. I feel like it. Credit where credit is due.
Fair enough. So yeah.
Thank you for your hard work. I appreciate it. I look forward to continuing to read your summaries from streams that are in 1 a.m. my time. I love waking up and seeing a hot Taishi translation, a .as file dropped in the Discord server, for example.
Those
are the best.
Still makes me laugh, and I always get those comments every time I drop like a .ass file. Every time.
Any sub fans in the chat? Anybody like Aegis subtitles? Anyone? No? Just Taishi. Okay.
All right, then. I guess that's it for today.
I'm always happy to see your ass, Taishi. That's what I'm getting at.
Thank you for the stream.
Thank you and have a good night. Bonasera, good evening, good night.
Bonasera. All right, you have a good night, and I'll see you chat again sometime soon. And go check out Tom's channel. All his details.
Oh yeah, wait. Can I plug myself?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Am I allowed to do that?
Go ahead.
So if you want to watch my streams, you can find me at twitch.tv/skeletom_ch. Or if you can't remember that, you can go to skeletom.net/stream, and that'll take you to my Twitch page as well. I typically stream this time Saturdays and this time Sundays. And as I said, I do programming and make pizza. And those are pretty much the two things I do. Sometimes video games are involved. And that's it.
All the URLs are down in the description, so go pick them up there.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. I didn't need to plug myself. Oh no.
You've done it.
I don't look humble at all anymore. Oh jeez.
All right then.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you for today. Thank you for sort of the lesson and everything. All right. That's it for today. Thank you guys for watching. Bye.
Bye.